Special thanks to Simply Safe for sponsoring today's video. They're having their best sale of the year. More on that in a little bit. Welcome back, friends, to the shop. Boy, the old hairpiece is not looking good. I've had a devil of a time with my, well, as you guys know, I wear a toupee. And I use hair from Polynesian women that live off a strict diet of coconut oil. And it does not react well with a high humidity, and I just can't do anything with it. So I do apologize for that. So, as a professional homeowner, we have the expectation, or our wives have the expectation, that we could pretty much do anything. So Mrs. W brought me this big box full of broken Christmas ornaments that she's been collecting for the last decade, and batted her eyes and asked me if I could fix them. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's see what we got here. Actually, you already know that I know what I'm doing, so I've got my tools all set out here. I thought I'd try a little Hollywood movie magic, but you guys are not dumb, right? Okay, so of course, what was on the top, and I'm going to go with the hardest one first, is Mrs. W's family heirloom angel carousel. Now, the one that the Sweet Loaf and I put together the other day, that was kind of a modern replica. We bought it off of Amazon, of not the best quality, but it's inexpensive. Nothing like this one. It's solid brass, and is, from the looks of it, it's very old. We're going to have to do some brass soldering today, or some brass brazing. So that's something my granddad taught me how to do. Actually, one of the first projects I ever did, soldering brass, was this race car. I showed you that before. My granddad used to make these, and we sold them as a little cottage industry, a business that we had going on out of old spark plugs, because he was a Depression man, and he saved everything. But I still have that. We brazed that together. And I don't know that I've brazed brass since then, and that was, I was probably 14, so 13 maybe. So keep me in your prayers. Let's pull it up, or let's open it up. I'll show you what we need to do, and see if we can't get it back into action so it can spin for another 50 Christmases. The box is about the most charming part. Look at that. Even show this is really nice. Well, I've got some Scotch tape here, and so it won't be perfect, but we'll tape that up because I hate to lose the box. That's actually really nice. So what I have here is we've got some isopropyl alcohol, some steel wool. We want to make sure that it's cleaning whenever you're welding or brazing. You know, everything needs to be very, very clean. We have soft jaws here for the vise. So if we need to hold that, support it, we won't mash it, because brass is a very soft material. We've got some silver solder, as well as some rosin flakes, or some flux, which will help the silver solder stick in there. Hopefully that's still good. I haven't used that for, as my granddad said, a coon's age. And that's not racist. It's just apparently he was under the impression that raccoons lived a long time. Okay, so for heat, we're going to use MAP gas. Now, when you see these bottles, sometimes you'll see the blue ones. I think that's a butane or propane. I don't know for sure. But this is, I think they call it MAP gas. It's much hotter, the yellow one. And I use this for heating stuff up, and these benzomatic ones are fine, but I don't know, I don't think you can adjust them. So they're kind of all or nothing. So I dug out of my old plumbing box. I got the old school one that you light with a lighter that will give us the ability to get a smaller flame, because we don't want that intense heat, right? This is pretty delicate work. So hopefully this still works. Yeah, you see that right there? Hopefully you can see that. It's a real fine point. That way we hopefully won't overheat it. But I'm going to have to kind of learn this together with you guys. I haven't done this for a long time. So let's start by cleaning everything. So I'll just rub this down with some alcohol, and then we'll hit it with some steel wool and get a nice polish on it. Scotch Brite would be better, but I looked around for it. I couldn't find it. That stuff's all still packed. But this should work. I think we'll braze it from the bottom. We can see here, this piece, if we braze it from the bottom, it's not going to show, you know, if we do some ugly work right there. So we'll That's the plan anyway. You know, you could JB weld this. You could use modern epoxies and things, but you know, there's just no substitute for a silver solder. I love steel wool. Double aught. Is this double aught? Yeah, double or triple aught. It's finer. Puts such a nice finish on everything. I love the look of metal that's been polished with steel wool. Boy, that brass is one of my favorite metals. It's so pretty. It's very expensive. You rarely see it used anymore for that reason that it's so expensive. I actually thought this morning I was going to do a video and fix everything in that box. You all know we're not going to get any further than this. And this might be 2 parts. That's all right. We're just hanging out, right? Isn't that pretty? Boy, that brass, that steel wool does a nice job. It gives it kind of a flat or a matte finish, I guess, which I'm kind of partial to. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, a little bit bent in there. Let's finish the top. Yeah, all right, let's see. Now this has a little ring on it. This should snap in here like this still. Fortunately, it's not too bad. It still holds itself. And then I think, Lord willing, we'll be able to solder that right there. So let's put this up in the vise. We'll put the soft jaws on. But they keep from marring delicate work. And they've even got little holes and cutouts there, which are kind of nice. You know, if you need them, we're not really putting a lot of strain on this. Basically, I just want to keep it from moving. I'm not going to be able to. Yeah, we'll just lightly push against those candle holders. I just don't want it to shift on me. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Make sure that is oops. Oh goodness, what have I done? Looked like that was maybe at a bit of an angle, so I need to straighten that out. You know, actually it looks pretty good. I think when we get the silver solder on there, we'll be able to straighten it a bit as well. SimpliSafe is an incredibly reliable, effective home security system that you can install yourself. There are no contracts. You don't have to have anyone in your home. You simply give them a call. You can order online or over the phone. Your kit comes to you. I've installed 2 in both of our homes, and the installation on the first one took maybe a little over an hour. The second one, probably no more than 30 minutes. You'll get 24-hour monitoring. If anything happens, the police will be called or the fire department will be called if you have a fire or smoke detector goes off. It's completely integrated. One of my favorite things is the digital cameras. I have cameras that I can remotely check from my phone if we're away from home, just to check on the dog, make sure she's not on the couch. From freeze sensors to sensors that I have underneath the wash machine if we were to have a flood that would prevent damage to our wood floors. It's a very easy system. I'm just a big fan of it. We've been using it for 2 years now.
SimpliSafe on. Home.
The folks at SimpliSafe asked me if I could share a personal story with some things that I like about the system. One of the things that I've really come to like is that it notifies me if someone has entered the house when we're gone. Let's say we go for supplies to the grocery store, and when we come home, the keypad will tell us if anyone has actually accessed or been in the house. This is really nice. Years ago, I had a friend whose wife came home late at night with a violent criminal that was inside waiting for her. Had she had something like this, she wouldn't have been caught unprepared. So if you're interested in securing your home with a reliable system, I invite you to go to simplisafe.com/Wranglerstar. Take advantage of a special holiday offer that they have waiting for you. Now back to the video. We've got our flux. Set that up here. Well, that's very thin. We'll just get that to a very fine point. Melt that flux a little bit. You can buy solder that already has flux on it, or you can just use it the old school way and just dip it in there. It helps the bonding of the two metals. We'll heat this up until it just changes color. starts to change color if I remember right. We want that to take. There we go, right there, sucked in. See, it kind of sucked in there between the joint. It's not unlike sweating copper for your plumbing. Yeah, this is so much nicer than the new one we got. So there's little crimps in there you can see. Let those fit in. I guess it doesn't have to go any further than that. Just need to straighten that a little bit. That actually looks. How's that look on your end? Is that good that way? Looks like we get to do it again. All right, friends, we got it the second time. I put a little bead around the top there to give a little extra strength. It didn't, not quite as clean of work as I would have liked, but it'll be all right. All right, that feels a lot more secure. Okay, so let's build it up. Make sure it still works here. So we'll put our this is the top cap. There's a fine point on there. It's a bearing surface. It's really really spins well. This spins way better than the other one. It's on a whole nother level. The craftsmanship is much better. Tolerances are much tighter on everything. I'll have to ask Mrs. W's mom might know what the history, whoops, I forgot the triangle, the history on this one is. We put one of the angels on backwards last time. You guys don't miss very much in the videos. That's how you know it would be impossible to be a fraud or a liar on YouTube. There's just too many smart people that would call you out on your you could never pull it off. The safe bet's just to show it as it happens. Oh, this sound, the tinkle sound of the bells is so much richer on this one being solid brass. That other one has almost a dead flatness to it. And then the top piece. So delicate. Makes you working on these little delicate things like this. It gives you a great appreciation for people who do detailed work like watch building or jewelers. You know, this is actually pretty crude compared to something like that, and already I feel awkward around it. Okay, what do we do with our lighter? Let's make sure it all goes. Part of the handshaking, I think, is I'm not here about freezing to death. I got to get some heat in this shop. I'm thinking about a wood stove. A pellet stove wouldn't be bad either. I had one of those in the shop one time. Look how much better that one works. That's delightful. Let's turn off the lights. I have an early gift for you.
exactly?
Those are real crystals.
Crystals. I remember. I love the crystals. Wow! There's still one more in this box.
Hold them up to the Christmas tree and look through them. Look through the light. Hold both of them up high to the tree, and look through them. Oh, don't bang them together. They're very delicate. Hold them up to the tree and look through them, like glasses. What do you see?